Okay, Paul, thanks for sitting down with us today. Uh, Obviously, it's been a very positive week or so on social media and with the club website, with obviously a number of renewals, with the large majority of last year's squad returning.
Yeah, really positive. Obviously, it's weeks in the making, trying to keep the squad together, and that's our aim. Our first aim this season was we feel that there's more growth and more development out of the team that we've already got. We've seen historically over the last few years the teams that have been successful in this league are teams that have built and kept the squad together. Taunton, Western, Chesham, so that was our first priority: keep the squad together. We think there's that belief is going to be building amongst these players that they can be really successful this season. There's things that we can do as a management team to help them and to improve on last season. And then it's a case of trying to add just the 2 to 4 players probably that will give us a slightly different balance of the squad, make us a little bit more physically imposing. And we feel that's one key area for us to try and improve on next season. And so, we've managed to bring a couple of those in, and then we're pretty set then, and we'll be looking at pre-season, looking to probably add a couple more, with a few players lined up to come in pre-season, have a look at us and us have a look at them. But really, really pleased and really looking forward to next season already now.
Paul, obviously you've mentioned a couple of new signings with a few more in the pipeline. The first new signing that joined this summer was Kane Simpson from Froome Town. What can the other supporters know about him?
Yeah, Kane, I've tried to sign him a few times previously, and so I'm delighted that he's joined this summer. He had another really positive season last season. I think he scored by 18 goals and wasn't at Froome at the start of the season, including scoring in big games like 2 in the playoff final. So I think he's 28 now, so he's an experienced player, and he's one that can come in and really, it's a cliche, but hit the ground running. I think he'll fit in well with the boys that we've already got. He's athletic and will be able to run in behind, similar to what we've had in the past. But he's also, physically imposing and will add a little bit to us in that area. That's an area that there's no doubt that we felt we needed to develop. And so, I think he'll complement the other players around him with, the creative players that we'll have behind, and being up there with Rick or Geth, and I think he'll really add to us this season.
And obviously the second signing announced over the weekend was the signing of midfielder Cole Jarish. Some Martyrs fans may remember Cole as a younger player at the club, but what's changed about Cole obviously in the last couple of years?
Well, Cole, I've watched him 4 times this season. I've heard and tracked him over the last season or so, from his time at Llanrumney really to Corries and then to Newport City. And then I watched him the back end of this season 4 times, and every time I was immensely impressed with him. I think he's a fantastic player, a technically gifted player who can fit into our style of play, but he's got to be 6'2". He's fast, he's powerful. I've seen him. There's a step up in terms of the level, but he's got all the attributes to make that step up and add to this team and really improve us, because he'll win his duels aerially in both boxes, score headers, score from outside the box. He can dribble past players, he can pass the ball. He's got a great range of passing. He seems to have everything. And I know there was a lot of interest in Cole. He's 22 now, I think, so he's a great age to fit in with the rest of our squad. And I think outside of the professional clubs, he's got to be one of the most talented players in Wales at the moment outside the professional clubs. So delighted to bring him in, and I think he's just what we needed in terms of bringing that athleticism and that physicality whilst being able to still play the technical game that we're not going to go away from. We're going to be even better next season than what we were this season, and he can deal with that and bring that added physicality that we're going to need, that we maybe lacked a little bit in the second half of the season this year.
And obviously, we touched on the renewals with players like Ricardo, Tom Hanley, Alex John returning, as well as many others. Are there still a few from last season that you're currently talking with?
Yeah, I think we're getting towards being set there now. I think whether by the time this interview goes out, whether we've quite finalised the last couple, we do want a couple more to stay. So but we're very close now, and look, we've done really well in that regard. We've fended off a number of clubs being interested in a number of the boys, and I'm really pleased and proud that they've decided to stay together and go for another season. Look, signing the players and keeping the players that we had was the first priority, because we see the potential that they have. They were better this last season than they were the season before. They were better 2 seasons ago than they were the season before. So if they're better again this season, I think we're in for a really exciting season, and we know where we want to go. We know what our ambitions are going to be. Let's make no bones about it. It's going to be a fantastic league this season, with Gloucester signing some brilliant players, Tottenham really having a good go. They don't try to hide the fact that they're aiming towards that EFL. You've got Havant and Waterlooville who've come down, who last season were using a full-time model. So and there's excitement across the league. I think it's going to be a really competitive, really difficult league, but one that if we've managed to retain the top goal scorer across all of Step 3, we've managed to retain the other players that have done so well and developed so much. So let's go and see what we can do this season and really have a good crack at it.
And obviously, you've mentioned the season there. The club have launched the early bird season tickets in the last couple of days, with the live link going live anytime now. I've got a message to supporters about obviously backing the boys this season.
Yeah, I think that the supporters, we want to see that CTM stand full in the second half of games, playing towards it. We want to see that. We want to see the whole ground full and behind us, as they have been so far. I really think this could be a really great time to be a Merthyr Town supporter. We'll do our best on the pitch to make it great fun and to make it a great time to support the Martyrs. So please just get behind us. It would be great this season if maybe since the reforming of the club we could smash the number of ownerships, the number of season tickets. Let's get out there and really back the club, which has backed the squad in terms of keeping it together. Let's go out and look after that, and then next season let's all go out there together and have a really successful time. I think there was a lot in terms of ownerships. There were a lot of comments earlier in the year when there were elections, and lots of people, supporters, weren't able to have their say and have their vote. So I would urge people to go out and be an owner. What an opportunity and what a time this could be to be an owner of Merthyr Town Football Club and to have your say in the way things are being run. And season tickets, it would be fantastic if we could smash our previous records and get everybody out there as often as possible, supporting and backing the boys.
That's great. Thanks, Paul.
Cheers.